So yeah, when you're like getting into it, then how does it like start for you? Like you say, you saw the graph, you got into that at some point. So you go to the show, you see like this stuff, it opens up your eyes. It starts to. What happens next in terms of that? Like bring us back to being like 14.
Well, I was searching my place. 14, you're looking for your identity, right? I um First grade of high school, I went with my big buddy that will go to private school, a French friend with who I was creating these cartoons and everything. And he went for the exams of entry for that private school. So I went with him, and they told me to do the test, and I was second in math and first in French in the test in all of the students. So they asked my parents to pay private high school for me to kind of be there and give my grades to that school, right? But it was chaotic because I was somewhat not fashion. Um, I was a shy person, stuttering, not cool. I was not a popular kid. I was a creative already. I was favored more by adults or by teachers, but I was kind of already kind of on a different, uh, dressing different, thinking different, talking different, right?
Right.
And I guess I always search for that. So when I was 14 now, being in a punk rock city, white French speaking city, with my sister as an adopted Asian black sister, um, I felt proud to be part of the counterculture or the alternative culture or the hidden part of humanity, like the all of this institutionalized whiteness has prevented from diversity to be properly represented in many places, with the Eurocentrism and Western world centrism and all of these things. So to me, I felt that hip hop was a more honest voice of what we need to speak about. I felt more included in that narrative than in the narrative of what I was proposed through school and academics and media. So I guess I was a black sheep again, like I was dressing all white, warm up suit, all army fatigue. So a lot of people, it showed a lot of people some racism, or it showed like closeness of spirit of a lot of people. But to me, I felt like a warrior to kind of be against the grain, to be like, to not take part of what I was considering the problem. And by that, I don't mean the punk rock culture, because punk rock culture was a step closer to what I was searching for. But I speak more like general society.
Right. Man, you're eloquent as fuck with
So
this.
so at 14, that was it. At 14, I had 3 4 friends my age that were willing to make beats and do breakdance and go do graffiti, and we met older clique that were maybe 8 years 10 years older than us. They were already they have cars and turntables, and so our two generation connected. And my first mixtape were like at the home of these big brothers. I was 14, 15, they were 24. So that was really my beginning into hip hop, and I was already hitchhiking to come to Montreal, or coming with them on their ride, but I was already having a lot of back and forth
So
to
you're
Montreal.
hold up. So you're
So
like
I became
a 15-year-old that managed to link up with people and drop mixtapes back before it was even easy to drop mixtapes. Like that's
well,
pretty.
actually, maybe I mispronounced this one. They dropped the mixtape from which I had my first verse on.
You know
But
what?
it's
Even
still something
it
big for
doesn't
me.
actually. It takes the accomplishment down barely anything. You're still like 15 in an era where like I've got the feeling you're a bit older than me. So it's in an era where it's like not the simplest time to even be involved in music. Even when I was in high school, it's not like people be
completely.
like doing that. So like the fact that you managed to integrate into this culture that's hidden, that like ends up in a place where you link up with the right people to get features on a mixtape, is actually pretty fucking cool. How like I guess how big is the under culture of where you're at? Like, is there like a lot of people involved in it? Like, what's that vibe?
At that point it was at that at that point it was nothing. At that point there was maybe 5 person in the whole city doing tags. So like there was not like a lot of people. It was like a virgin place, you know? And I guess that's why I didn't stay there. I was really finding what I was searching for coming to Longueuil, coming to Montreal. It's funny because last week I saw DJ Blast in a park, in a party. And DJ Blast is the first DJ from Montreal. He was the mentor of my Drummondville DJ friend that were coming out with the mixtapes, you know. So I met him maybe like in 98 or 99, if you know what I mean. So and now I'm in a place where all of these people all my life that I've been inspired by, I'm eating at the same table as them now, you know. So I do feel that yeah, it's a good thing, and I'm happy I can share all of these backstories, you know.
It's actually really cool. I mean, when you said that Shades of Culture came to your town and that inspired you, that's like wildly cool to hear. You know, like just how it could all be so like interconnected with that. You know, like I'm in NDG right now, so that's like fucking wildly cool to hear. Um, and then like just the
Yeah,
idea that like,
Storm,
or even Blasters
Revolution,
too. You know, that's again NDG.
D-Shade.
So that's,
But Blaster is also shout out to Blaster, but I was talking of DJ Blast,
oh my
which is a
bad, my
different DJ.
bad. I apologize. I got confused there. But that's fair enough. There's a
All
lot of
good.
names out there that I am trying to keep track of in my head as I go through this process and learn more and more each time. Fair enough. Still, so you basically end up. Are you performing at like that age? Are you involved in that side of things as
I
well?
am actually, and one of the crazy story I haven't spoke really of yet. I won in Drummondville. I connected with um someone from Saint Hyacinthe. His name was Bully Le Psy, and he came to live to Drummondville. So he had all of his contact from Saint Hyacinthe. Saint Hyacinthe is halfway between Montreal and Drummondville, so it was already kind of closer to the knowledge, to the having access to the good music and the good spot and everything. So he kind of together we created a group called Natural Reflect, and it was Monk.E and Bully Le Psy. And we started doing shows. And at that point, I was 15, I guess 16, 17. I don't remember because I was continuing to come back to Drummondville, even if I was living in Longueuil. So around 16, I moved to Longueuil. But I continue in Drummondville. So I don't remember at what time I was at Natural Reflect exactly.
Right, right.
But at that time, I was 15, 16, or 17, 16 maybe. And I we won a rap competition, and the prize was to do Rascal's opening act
Okay.
out of town. So I was 16 and I was already going out of town doing shows. This is how I met Attache Tatuc, Sans Pression, Chien Manger Chien, Vulgaire, everyone basically. I start doing the first act, the opening act of a lot of these out of town shows, you know, not in Montreal, but Drummondville, Victoriaville, Sherbrooke, Saint Hyacinthe.
So
And
basically, you plugged into all the big dudes from Montreal when they was trying to make the small town money outside of Montreal. Because from what I understand, there's a whole circuit for like the smaller towns in Quebec, and there's like actually money to be made at these shows and events, like 2 hours, 3 hours away from Montreal.
well, I now I guess it is, but back then, honestly, I think it was more my friend. They were organizing the shows and they were booking their friend just to be able to chill and to kind of have this inspiration in our community, you know. So
Say word.
I don't know if it was really um, something like economically prolific, but it was amazing in what it did to my mind, though, and it made me want to pursue this as my daily life, you know. So big shout out to all of these beautiful people. But I guess that none of them actually opened doors to me. It's that they all inspired me to open the doors for myself, you know. And that's what I started doing, and that I'm still doing for myself to this day, you know.
So I guess yo, what's up everybody in the chat? So like, so you're going through that run. So you're opening. You're getting. Yo, what's it like to perform back then? What's the crowds like? I mean, we're talking about a completely different era of performing too.
I would say they're similar to the punk rock shows. They're small shows, 100 to 300 people when you are in a cégep or a college, or sometimes you have certain acts that are booked like in nightlife, but these are the worst gig to do because people are there to dance, and the type of rap we're doing, it's rap. It's actually not dancing music. If we were doing dancehall or something else, or singing over house music maybe, but we're doing Nas and Rakim style in Drummondville, like in a French speaking Quebecois community. No, it was not adapted to this. I think it became more popular um, when Quebecois started doing it. That's a sad thing, and that's what is an example of some sort of maybe not racism, but close-mindedness. You know, until like Eminem, he broke a lot of barriers just because a lot of rednecks started like seeing themselves in rap music. Me personally, I did not need to see a white rapper to feel myself spoken to in hip hop music, you know. So, but I guess for outside of Montreal, that's what helped the culture when there was
I mean, I'm gonna
people
say
from the
like
region making it happen.
I definitely think that Eminem made it a lot more accessible for somebody like in my world to get Eminem too. Like my parents saw rap different after Eminem.
100%. And that's a truth, and it's a sad truth, but it's a truth.
Or like they would then add that filter of there's the good hip hop I'm allowed to listen to that they liked, and then there's the other hip hop that's scary. Which that one is
Yeah.
still, if we're talking true, is prevalent to this very day. And if you watch like the underground, there's like this trend of this debate of what the good hip hop actually means, and a lot of times it really just depends on who's saying it and what their intentions are. A lot of people are
Always,
trying to like,
obviously.
yeah, I don't know, that stuff I feel really
But
passionately about. But still,
yeah. So big shout out to the culture that inspired me, the Black American culture, the Puerto Rican culture, the North American ghetto, those who have been oppressed systematically and have created a channel and a voice to express their originality and their unicity. Um, well, I have mad respect, honor, and love for you. I try to give back to the same virtues and qualities and disciplines as what I was taught and given. And I keep the wheel rolling. New generations are doing magic with this beautiful culture. So
it's facts.
blessings, 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 and gratitude to all the pioneers of this culture.
I love the way you approach life, man. It makes sense how you're like who you are. It really does. Just the way you approach it. When you hear it being told, and this is like super interesting shit. Like your whole perspective, like the way you articulate, it's really a blessing to hear it. But let's say,
Wow. Well,
nah, man, I'm telling you, like, because you're an orator. It's like I don't know how else to put it. Like saying you speak well didn't feel like fancy enough.